Hi everyone, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia, and today is another art subscription box unboxing. It is the May SCRAWLR box. We will be unpacking this, checking out all the supplies, giving a little review and making some art with the prompt list this month. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And get comfy and let's go. Okay, let's open this up and see what we got. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, let's open up our supplies first and see what's in here. Oop. Okay, we have a set of 3 primary colours, which is excellent because that means we can blend to get some new shades. Ecoline Duo Tip. Watercolour paint. Okay, I haven't had anything like this before. It's usually either been acrylic paint markers or alcohol markers. Cool. We have our candy, which also matches our colour theme. I don't know what this is, bubblegum? It's UK candy, so I'm never familiar with what it is. This month's sticker. Copic multi-liner in 1.0 nib. Chunky but very versatile. In black. And a 2B graphite pencil, Faber-Castell water-based varnish. 2B is that's one of my most used leads. So these have a chisel nib and a bullet tip. These are going to be very interesting to work with. We have our artist print. So our featured artist is Francesca Franceschi. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Visual artist and designer born in Rome. And that is their socials. Our surface this month is the SCRAWLR box A5 mixed media, 250 GSM, 10 sheets. It's actually quite textured. I don't know if you can see that, but it sort of feels almost like a watercolour paper, which, you know, we have watercolour ink markers, so that makes sense. And then we have our SCRAWLR zine. So again, we have a little rundown on our supplies. The candy is bubblegum and it is gelatin free. Copic liner, mixed media paper, sticker, our markers. Oh, our prompt. I didn't read the prompt. Prompt for this month is kaleidoscope. Okay, so that's quite broad, so we should be able to do something pretty cool with that. Here's a bit more of an in-depth intro into our artist of the month and some more of her work. Preparing for my first solo exhibition May 6th. Congrats, Francesca. Here we have some tips on how to use the supplies. So swatching, mixing, blending, lifting, which you can do with watercolour. And there's another example of lifting pigment with water. Page on colour theory, super important. Here is our gallery of featured artists from the number 91 box. And the prompt for that month was feminine energy. And then their top 3 chosen artists. And then we have another feature on another artist. Cool. And there's a little QR code here where you can join. They do live streams on YouTube, so you can jump in there and scroll along with all the other scrollers. All right, let's swatch everything out and make something. So I'm going to start swatching out the supplies, starting with the Eco Line Duotip Marker Primary Set, and this is what Scrawler Zine has to say about them. They feature a bright yet transparent liquid watercolour ink made from dye and gum arabic. Complete with broad chisel tip on one side and a fine bullet nib on the other, these pens not only allow for beautiful watercolour creations, but freedom of expression to make fine detail, broad lines, fluid strokes, and to colour in large areas with ease. The ink lends itself to blending and mixing with ease. Simply add water. You can use a brush for more watercolour effects and perfect colour transitions, or apply directly to the page. Best stored horizontally. If the tips dry up, just moisten them with a little water to reactivate. And I will say these markers are very, very juicy. There is a lot of ink in them. And now I'm just testing out the black fine liner, and you must wait for it to dry before you add the watercolor on top because it will smudge if you don't do that. So I was unsure about what to do for Kaleidoscope because I don't usually do patterns or repeating patterns and things like that. Like, I really appreciate that kind of work, but that's just not what I do. But like I said in my last video, the art subscription boxes, when you're using new supplies that you might not be comfortable with, and then you have a prompt word that is out of your comfort zone, you sort of come up with new ideas. Here's Echo squishing herself into the SCRAWLR box. So I was thinking about a YouTube video that I watched a few months ago of an artist who was doing like glitch illustrations, and I can't remember his name, but I will find the video and link it in the description box down below. And because I just like drawing skulls at the moment, I thought, what if we do like a skull with our Copic liner and use the pens to do like a glitchy kind of effect. You know what I mean? You'll see what I'm talking about. So I think the skull turned out really cool. I really like that. And we had the 2B pencil to sketch out everything beforehand, and then I just inked it using the multi-liner, making sure I had a nice bold outline, and then doing some really light shading with the fine liner. So I was pretty stoked to have the 3 primaries be magenta, cyan, and yellow as opposed to red, blue, and yellow, because I feel like when you mix magenta, cyan, and yellow, you get more vivid secondaries. So what I thought I'd do is add a layer of the yellow. Hi, Butters. A layer of the yellow, like an outline to the left of the black outline of the skull. And then I would add a layer of the pink or the magenta, slightly to the right of the yellow and overlapping it a little bit. But here is where I made a mistake. So the magenta was supposed to be to the right of the yellow, and I added it to the left on the inside of the skull. And I'm really disappointed that I did that. That was when I noticed. And then the blue was supposed to go to the left of the magenta, but because I messed up that whole left side of the skull, it didn't quite work out. And then I was just going to add a pattern mixing the markers with water, which I forgot to film. So I'm not stoked with how this turned out. Big stretch. And I will, but I do like the concept. So I'm going to make this piece again for my Instagram, and I'll have that linked below. So keep an eye out for that. But I did want to get a video out today, and I also think it's important to recognize that not everything always works out. I think we're so used to seeing curated social media feeds of everything being perfect. And sometimes you make mistakes, and that's okay. So here is my little glitchy kaleidoscope skull, which I will be remaking hopefully this afternoon. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.